Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to RTR on the SNS Radio Network. I am Chris K, and at this time I am joined by a former two-time Knockouts champion, a five-time WWE Women's Champion, and a one-time Divas Champion, Mickie James. Mickie, how are you doing today?
Well, hello. I'm fabulous. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, and like I said, I've actually met you twice before, but I think this is the first time that you and I have spoken over the phone for an interview. So it should be fun.
Well, good. I like fun.
So, of course, you are here to promote your new album that's coming out on the 7th of May. Someone's going to pay.
Yes.
Now, a question that someone sent me. Of course, this is your second album. Was it harder or easier for you to write this album, considering it's your second?
Well, I only wrote, or co-wrote, I should say, 3 songs on the second album, just as I only co-wrote probably, what I want to say, hold on. 2 songs on the first album.
Right.
So the rest of the songs came from actual songwriters. Like, that's what they do. They sit down and they write these amazing songs for me, for, you know, some of the top stars, from George Strait to Jason Aldean. The one song I have on there is called A Good Time. It was written by Bridget Tatum and Lorna Flowers, but Bridget also wrote She's Country for Jason Aldean, which was a #1 hit for 18 weeks straight for Jason Aldean. So, I mean, to be able to write a song and know that it somewhat compares, and it's not like a weaker song, or, you know, because you don't want, that was my thing, is that, I don't want my music to go on the album just because it's my music and it's what I wrote. I want it to be somewhat on the same level as these awesome songs that, you know, we're getting from the publishing companies and songwriters and such.
Well, I think I'd say if it's on par with the first album. I mean, the first album was great, and I'm not that much into country music because I'm from England, but I did buy your first album and I loved it. I mean, my favorite song, my favorite song of yours had to be your theme song, Hardcore Country. And I say, I'm not usually into it, but that it's on my iPod, it's on my phone. I literally do love that song to bits.
Well, thank you. I actually co-wrote that song. It's on the album as well. We put it on there as a bonus track. Hardcore Country. Great
song. Absolutely great song.
Thank you.
Of course, you just released the video, the actual video for Somebody's Gonna Pay, and it's featuring you, Trish Stratus, and Magnus. And I have to bring up the awesome guitar shot. Now, I think every wrestling fan, as soon as they saw that, thought of Jeff Jarrett. Did you ask Jeff Jarrett, how to do a great guitar shot? Because that was a great shot by you.
Well, thank you. We only had 2 guitars, so I really only had 2 chances to get it right. And it took me 3 swings, because the first one I buckled and got nervous and was like, oh no. It was definitely I had to call Jeff Jarrett and say, because we were shooting in Nashville, and I'd never swung a guitar before. I've been hit with a guitar, but I've never swung a guitar. And so I was like, Jeff, will you show me how to swing this guitar? How am I supposed to do this? So he came in and he kind of showed me how to swing it, and, you know, the proper way, I guess, or the right way, or I don't know. So it was kind of cool because I was able to incorporate that, and then he was able to come down and kind of be a part, if even for a minute, and behind the scenes of the video shoot itself.
So we can now expect more guitar shots by Mickie James on Impact.
Well, it's kind of Jeff Jarrett's gimmick. I don't know if I should be going around swinging guitars, you know.
Well, watch out, people! Do not bring guitars to the tapings, because you might lose it. Mickie might just go hit someone over the head with it.
I might.
Now, how cool was it to be able to work with Trish Stratus? On the video, of course, you guys have worked in WWE together. But, how does this compare to working with her in the ring?
Well, I've known Trish and worked with her. I actually pulled a favor. I called in a favor on it. I really just, because we wanted somebody, and we needed somebody to, have that bridge that gap and blend the wrestling in with the thing, with the music and the album. And so I called Trish, and I asked her if I'd be, I was like, I got a big favor to ask you, and, would you be willing to help me and perhaps do this music video and be a special guest star kind of deal. And same with Magnus, I just asked if he would be willing to do it because, you know, if I'm going to hit somebody with a guitar, I'd rather hit somebody who, you know, knows what they're doing kind of deal than, and he played in that awesome, you know, tail hole as far as that whole scene that his character went in that thing. And then, but yeah, so she was just like, absolutely, of course I would love to, like, I'm so happy for you, and it's amazing, and it's exciting, and of course I would. So that's how, I mean, that was it. Like, it was just a matter of, and she came down, and it was fun because we got to kind of reconnect and be our goofy selves again, and pretty much annoy everybody for the whole day with our goofy antics. But it was awesome.
Now, I have to ask you about, of course, Trish was just inducted into the Hall of Fame. What were your thoughts on that?
I thought it was incredible. Like, she totally deserves it. If there's anybody that deserves it, she definitely does. And, yeah, I mean, it was amazing. I was super excited for her. And I remember when I first found out, I just, you know, called her and texted her, and I was like, oh, congratulations. And I'm so happy for you. You know, she truly does deserve it, because if you think about it, like, as far as someone from the diva side, or from that side of where she didn't come in as a wrestler, she came in as, you know, a manager, and she was a fitness model, and she wasn't, you know, she molded and she learned on the road, and she became, you know, Trish Stratus on the road and on TV and in the public eye kind of deal. So it's like, you know, I mean, I became Mickie James obviously on TV, but I worked through the indies and kind of like that whole way to get there. Same with, you know, Lita, like she busted her butt and busted her butt through the indies and everything else, and kind of crawled her way to the top. And but for her to be able to do that underneath for the public perception it's really difficult, because then you're being judged constantly. But I think that she really raised, like, as far as the people who come into this industry not knowing anything, she really raised the bar and took it to another level, and was, you know, the company girl for a very long time. So I think it shows a lot, and to be the youngest person and to be a female to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and you know, everything that she's done, and being able to work with her and make a little magic in history with her, I feel like is awesome. And the fact that she even took a moment to go and, like, kind of give shout outs to people along the way just shows what type of person she is and her character, you know, like, because at the end of the day, we're only as good as the people that we're in there with, and we owe a lot of that, a lot of our successes and a lot of that to those people that helped us along the way. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you're right, because I'm like Trish Stratus, as you say, came as a manager, and she evolved, in my opinion, to be the best diva of all times. And right. I mean, when you think of modern day divas, I think of people. I think of Trish, Lita, and you, because in my opinion, the fans could connect with Trish. They could connect with Lita, and they connect with you. What I find right now is, like, the fans, and, like, as someone that's worked in TNA and WWE, the fans of WWE nowadays just don't really care for the girls, which is a shame, because they're a girl that can wrestle. But if the fans don't care, no matter what happens, they won't get over, because the fans need to care first.
Well, do you think, why do fans, well, here's the deal, though, is that you think the fans don't care. Is it because they're not given proper time? Because I feel like they are given a fair amount of time on TV. Is it because they're not having, you know, the same style or the same type of matches? Where people, the thing is that when you're in that ring, your job is to make people feel an emotion. That's what you do, whether it's with your mic work or your in-ring work. And if you can't make people feel something, then obviously there's something that you're not doing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, you can get over, you can be allowed 2 minutes of TV time, and you can get yourself over in 2 minutes. Like, it sucks to only get that 2 minutes, but 2 minutes is better than no minutes.
Yeah, I mean, and when we spoke to Tara, she basically said that the girls are given 5 minutes in WWE, and that 5 minutes includes their intros and outros. So they have like 3 minutes to
Right.
wrestle, and
Yeah,
it's quite hard to
yeah.
tell a story in 3 minutes.
It is hard. It is hard to tell a story in 3 minutes, but if you're a professional, you can get it done. And it does suck. But here's the deal: is that like you kind of vibe for that position, and you want that position, and I mean, it's within all companies, like you can get 5 minutes, and you just have to learn how to tell the right story in that 5 minutes, and be grateful that you got that 5 minutes, because there's a lot of people that would love that 5 minutes.
Well, what I was saying is like girls like Brooke Tessmacher, she took a small role as a secretary, and in my opinion, she's the most improved women's wrestler in the last 2 years. So you are right.
Yes,
If you,
yes. Actually, yeah, she's done a really great job in getting better, and yeah.
And like you say, that time might be short, but if you're good enough, you'll use that time and make the fans care for you.
Right.
Now, of course, next week you are hosting a recording, a release party for your new album. What details
it's more than just we're recording it, hosting it. Like we're holding a release party. It's May 7th. My album comes out on May 7th, so.
Yes.
Thought like what better town to do it in than my hometown. We are recording it because we may end up using some of the footage for stuff down the road, and I'm also in the middle of shooting this Dr. Pepper kind of campaign deal, one of a kind of thing. So that's been pretty cool. Like we shot all day yesterday at the farm, and we're supposed to shoot at the airport today, but I haven't even had a chance to pack my bags. Like I've been going. I was home for like 3 days, and all 3 days we've been doing. My flight was delayed. I had band practice. We were going to shoot that, and then it's just been insanity. My life is insanity.
I mean, like, that's something that I think the fans look up to you for, because you have to juggle a wrestling career with a music career. I mean, How do you do that?
Well, and juggling a wrestling career is hard enough in itself. You know what I mean? Juggling a music hard enough in itself, but to do both, like, I have an amazing team behind me and helping me, and I have no life besides, but I work all the time. Every day is crazy. It's definitely a crazy hell of a ride, but it's awesome. Like I love it. I do love it.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at
some days I do want to turn my phone off and my computer off and just walk away and leave it for the day. I really would like to do that sometimes, but it's nearly impossible.
I mean, if you look at your success, all the hard work's worth it. I mean, in my opinion, you are one of the best divas of all time, one of the best knockouts of all time, and I love your music. So I mean, you work hard, and for that, fans love you. And, I mean, this week on Impact, of course, you came up short against Velvet Sky. Now, if you look back, Velvet Sky appeared to use some leverage. Now, in my opinion, that calls for a rematch, because if a champion has to, bend the rules slightly to retain the belt, that means that they can't beat you. So I'm thinking maybe
like she was a tad bit underneath the ropes, you think?
Yes,
we kind of rocked back and forth, and the shoulders weren't completely down.
Yeah, and I think we need a clear winner between you two, and I can't think of a better place than Slammiversary. I mean, that's where TNA celebrates the history of the company. Why not have two of the best female wrestlers in the company wrestling at that show?
Well, I can't say that I disagree with you, honey.
Plus the fact that I'll be there, so it'd be one giant party. I mean, when you win the belt, it'd be one giant party.
It will be one hell of a party.
Exactly. Now, I'll ask a question. What are your thoughts on ODB as the knockouts ref?
I love ODB. I think that that perhaps I'm biased because she's a friend of mine. But I think that she does a great job, and she keeps it, she keeps it even and keeps everybody in check, and for the most part, nobody's really going to mess with ODB, even though, we've worked with her, because we've worked with her. We know what a badass she is, so I don't know. I think and I do At first, I was a little torn on the whole female ref thing because it was like I didn't know how it was going to. If it was going to be a distraction from the matches itself or whatever. But Taryn did a good job. I thought she did a good job with it, and now, obviously, I feel like ODB's in there and she's doing a great job. So yeah, why do you like it?
I think it's unique. I mean, I can't remember the last time that a division itself had its own referee. So I mean, that's one unique thing that TNA are doing, and one thing that I really enjoy. I mean, and that's one thing that I need to know. You've been in both companies. You have to try and stand out and make something unique that make the fans care. And
right.
like I say, having ODB, who is really like the fans love as a referee, get to on TV, because I mean that's one thing that fans like often say. Why isn't this girl on TV? And it might be a small role, but it's still a role on TV.
I know. I do feel like what stinks about it is that people are missing her wrestling, and she's probably one of the most entertaining wrestlers that we have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean her and EY as champions. To me personally, that's a bit strange, because I mean they haven't defended the belt.
It is a bit strange, and I love them, but I wish they could defend them damn things, because I would want a shot at them.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
when we spoke to EY.
Go ahead.
I was like, when we spoke to EY was like, yeah, I'm the longest reigning Knockouts champion or tag champion, because TNA never put me on TV, so I can never lose them.
That's funny.
But okay,
so funny.
okay, so
I don't understand the logic behind that, because, in my opinion, besides the X Division Championship, which is probably at the same level as like the Cruiserweight, so
right.
The Female Tag Team Championship is the only thing that we have that nobody else has.
Yeah.
In reality, like, we don't do the six-sided ring anymore. We do the X Division matches, like with the crazy thing, and God bless those guys for doing those matches. But it legitimately is like, WWE retired their ladies championship, tag team championship matches a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I think it makes our division, the ladies division, so unique and so different, and gives you something else to fight for. I don't know why they're sitting around ODB and EY's waist, and they're not even defending them, and nobody else is getting a shot out of them, and there's no storyline, there's no nothing that's wrapped around them. They just kind of won them, and that was it. And then we forgot about it. Or
you're right. I mean, like they beat, wasn't it, Gail Kim and Mazin Rain for the belts, and then EY goes away to do his fishing show, and it's now like yeah.
I'm all about that. I'm all about somebody branching out and being a star and doing other things to make yourself more valuable, especially if you're just kind of here and there on TV at that moment anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I think that everybody should capitalize on every opportunity if it makes sense and it fits for them and it's not forced and it's something that, is a great fit for them. And he's doing a fabulous job with that show. And I couldn't be happier with him, and I totally get it. I get it 1,000%.
Yeah, I mean, for him it's great.
He has done TV here and there, yeah.
But in terms of like you girls that literally now have one belt to fight over, if you could bring those belts back into being an active storyline, that'd be great, because then you could give two girls.
Yeah, and I think that we don't really have enough girls right now to even have a tag division, unfortunately. But there's enough girls in our circle, and that we can, that we could use. And it's not like, I mean, per se, like, in my opinion, it would be awesome if they were full-time contracted girls, because not only would it give us more girls to work with within the championship picture, it would also, in the tag division, be able to pair up with the right people and kind of see who works together and who doesn't, and what's going to make money and what's not, and what kind of gimmicks and characters, like Jumping Bomb Angels and Glamour Girls and all that, just because what's sold is new again. It all works, You don't have to reinvent the wheel because it's not broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's one thing that kind of, like, drew me to TNA. It was that they had girls that could wrestle. And, I mean, when you look back to, like, 07, 08, when they had Awesome Kong, they had Rosita Sarita, you had Roxy, TNA had such a big roster of girls, and then they make this tag titles, and then girls like Winter, Love, Sky leaves, then comes back. Like, there's not enough girls, as you say, for those belts to be on TV. But I mean, there are girls in OVW that can be brought up. I mean, I'm good friends with the Blossom Twins.
Yeah, well, I mean, like Taylor Hendricks, for example, like she got that gut check match, she got the tryout, they told that story, and then now she's in OVW, and nobody's really seen or heard from her since, except for on Twitter. Like, you know, it's like, I know that we, sorry, my alarm just went off. Could you hear that?
No, it's fine.
Okay, awesome. Sorry. Was it Leah Tapa, which I'd seen Leah like a long time ago.
Yeah.
When she first started, like I think she had only had like 2 matches, and she impressed me then. But she was, you know, obviously had a long way to go, you know, as far as just learning whatever. But I mean, yeah, we have tons of girls. And tons of girls that aren't even under contract in OVW, and like, I mean, all around the world, actually, there are these amazing female wrestlers. And I think, you know, yeah, I get, you know, you want these amazing female wrestlers that are also beautiful that you can put in calendars and you can put and stuff like that. I get that 100,000%. Like, I get it because that's the way it's been since the beginning of time. But at the same time, you also need those that are just characters. They don't have to be, you know, a freaking $1 million pinup girl. You know what I mean? They can be a little rough around the edges. They can have a different look or whatever, because that's what makes them unique. If everybody's the same and everybody's cookie cutter and everybody's this beautiful wrestler or beautiful girl that can kind of wrestle, you know what I mean, then it doesn't make you special. Then everybody's the exact same. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, what flavor of sugar cookie do you want? What icing do you want on it, kind of deal?
Well, I mean, like, that's one thing that, I mean, I agree with. I mean, like, right now, TNA has a small division of girls, but I think all of them bring something different to the table. And, I mean, I think TNA dropped the ball with Ivelisse Velez, the girl from Tough Enough, because she's
Go ahead.
She's a great girl. She can wrestle. And in my opinion,
she's not bad in the ring. She's not bad, and she does that whole MMA thing. I really didn't get the match with her and Lady Tapa. I saw it, and I was, but yeah, no, she is good. And I actually had a chance to work with her a little bit when we were filming a bunch of pay-per-views and stuff. So that should be interesting. I'm not going to give it away because it doesn't come out for a while, but.
What, the TNA one knockout pay-per-view?
Yeah,
thing?
we did. It wasn't the knockout show. No, it was a different one.
Ah, because I know that those were filmed because, of course, over in England, you guys have the TV deal with Challenge, and with you guys cutting back to 4 shows a year, they had to do specials. I say in bracket marks there.
Yeah, we had to still fulfill those pay-per-views or whatever that we had an obligation to you guys with. So.
Yeah.
Which and I mean, it didn't hurt my feelings. It didn't hurt my feelings none.
Well, I mean, I think to be honest, we need to have more Mickie James on TV, because someone sent me a question. Someone sent me a question the other day. Sorry, carry on.
I agree that I feel like, well, especially because I think that I know I've seemed a little bit frustrated as of late in some of my promos and stuff, but I honestly feel that for the last year, like, I've probably been on less than 10 of the shows. You know what I mean? And for the last year and a half, I've barely done anything. And it's awesome to be able to come back and go, you know, win the number 1 contendership and go for the title. But I'm sick and tired of feeling like I'm sitting at home and watching all these other people. It'd be one thing if I was injured. It's one thing if I was hurt. Like, and I get it because I did get injured and I was hurt and I was sick for a minute. But that was just you know, I was already off TV when I got hurt, when I got sick. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that's, you know, so it's so frustrating when you feel like, when you know that you're one of the best in the world and you're sitting at home, it's frustrating. And it started to, like, where I'm just, you know, I'm still just, you know, I love what I do, and I love the people I work with, and I love going out there and making magic and telling the story. But I don't love pretending that I'm okay sitting at home when I'm not. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm just being real and being honest about it. And I feel like it's not me trying to be this awful, you know, person, you know, or like a bad person, because it doesn't take away from my love of who I'm with in there or what I'm doing. It's just owning up to stuff myself. Like, you know, because I'm the one who has to look at myself in the mirror. And if I'm unhappy with what I'm doing out there or not doing, you know, then I'm the one who has to face that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Because I know I've been questioned a lot, like, oh, are you turning heel? Are you doing this? And I'm like, no, not really. I'm just being honest, you know?
I mean, like, that's something like you. You are totally honest with everyone. And, like, if I've been honest with you, when you returned and then they brought back Velvet Sky the week later, me as a fan, it kind of felt like you got overshadowed by her return. Because since then...
And, like, here's my thing is I get that. And I was glad that Velvet was back, and I thought it was awesome or whatever, but what was the point? What was the point in bringing me back if you were just going to bring her back a week later and then I was going to sit home? You know what I mean? Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. And if it would have been like if it would have worked into some type of storyline or something like that, and it still could. You never know.
Well, yeah, I mean, they could play out the facts, like say, you returned, she returns, and since then, she's now the champion, and you're barely on TV. And to me, as much as I love Velvet Sky, I honestly think Mickie James has more of a fan base than Velvet Sky. And like I say, I love Velvet Sky, but I'm more invested in Mickie James than I am Velvet Sky.
I think that honestly depends on how you look at it. Like, as far as, you know, Velvet started in TNA, that's kind of where she's built her fan base. She's like a TNA, you know, she's one of those people who are like a TNA original. She started in TNA, that's where she built her fan base. That's where she's got hardcore TNA fans, where I have hardcore Mickie James fans, if that makes any sense. You know, like, she's got hardcore. And I don't mean to take that away, because she has hardcore Velvet Sky fans. But I you know, it's because my fan base, you know, I brought, you know, 80% of my fan base, 90% of my fan base with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. Like, I do have a larger audience, but as far as being TNA, like, loyal, she has a larger TNA loyal fan base. If that makes any sense. I don't know if
I mean, like, you could argue that you did debut before her, because you did debut in 03, I believe, in TNA with Raven.
I did, but oftentimes people don't remember that, and I think it was 02. Was it 03? Yeah. We were at the fairground. Yeah, it was 03. You're right. I always get that one mixed up.
Yeah, I mean, because it was pretty early on. So, and like I say, many fans don't know that. I mean, because many fans, with all due respect to TNA, don't know about their early days, which is a shame, because in my opinion, TNA in its early days was a lot like ECW. It was edgy. It was hardcore.
Right.
But now
it was different. Certainly something different.
And like now, TNA has become more mainstream. They can't do that kind of, you know, edgy ECW kind of anything you want, break the rules kind of thing. But
yeah, and that's kind of like the sacrifices you make for public television too. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, as good as it is to like keep like the local fans happy, overall you have to make everyone happy, and
right.
that might upset a few TNA originals. But when you think of the money, the licensing, the worldwide exposure,
and you think of the overall growth of the company. You know what I mean? Like, that's the goal, is to, you know, to become like bigger and better and more of a household name. And in order to do that, you need to be on public, you know, programming. And you can't do that smashing people with light bulbs and stuff. So you have to get that, and you have to the involvement and stuff like that. Besides, so many people get hurt. with light bulb. Why? I don't. You know what I mean? Like, but and think about it. Like, Mankind made a complete, like, he's a legacy because of it. He's a legend. You know, because of but he was totally different when he was doing it. Nobody else was doing it when he was doing it. You know what I mean? He was the originator kind of deal of that whole kind of deal, and then, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you are right. I mean, as I said before, ECW had its cult following, and then once that died, they went to WCW. Then once that died, they went to TNA, and like I say, I've been watching TNA since '03, and right now, like, I know, like, TNA is only get like a 1.1 rating on TV, but here in England, you guys are over like crazy. I mean, they literally just had Dixie Carter over here for a fan party, and they sold out.
It's incredible. The fan base and stuff for TNA in the UK is massive. Like, our shows do so well. The TV, like, doing TV over there last year was awesome. Like, I didn't get a chance to do it. Obviously, I wasn't there, but, you know, it was something that I was genuinely looking forward to because I already knew how well the response was from Wembley the last year and from the tour the previous year.
Well, I mean, I think that's one great thing about TNA now going on the road, because I have to admit, I despise the Impact Zone. I've been there a few times, and the reason I don't like it is because the fans they're either there every day, like kind of TNA loyals, or they're tourists.
Which we appreciate and respect. You have to know that.
Yeah. But I mean, it's to a point where the fans would try and become bigger than the show.
Right.
And that takes away from the show. And with TNA now going on the road, I mean, I say, when you guys come here, you have like 10,000 people, which is equivalent to what WWE get here. And I mean, what are your thoughts on TNA now going on the road?
I love it. You know, for me, I'm a live performer. I perform best in front of the live crowd. I love when the pressure's on. That's when I'm at the top of my game. And you didn't necessarily always feel that, you know, within the Impact Zone because you know, it is when they're fans and they see the same wrestlers or see the same type of show every week, it's harder to get them to react and feel something, you know what I mean? Because they've seen it all. Whereas, I mean, I also, like, it's just been amazing. I mean, we filled out these arenas and it just looks better on TV. It looks like a killer show because it is a killer show. You know, it just makes us look what we truly are and what we're trying to be and what we are. Whereas I don't know that, you know, necessarily in the Impact Zone. And I'm not saying that we won't go back to the Impact Zone and do some stuff there, but who knows? But the live shows have been amazing. It's just been amazing. The energy, the crowds, they're on fire. They're into the show, you know, from top to bottom. And that type of emotion, like the emotion and the response that even just Velvet and I got from our match, like the roar of the crowd, like that kind of stuff is like, you know, that's what you live for, is that type of reaction and that type of, you know, fan involvement. So, yeah, it's incredible. I think it's like one of the best things that we've done in a long time is to hit the road. And I know there was a little bit like, oh, I wonder how it's going to come off or how it's, you know, going to do or be perceived or whatever, but I think it's been absolutely incredible.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, going on the road had to happen because the thing is, with how big the internet is nowadays, spoilers kill wrestling. And when you guys you take like months of TV in the Impact Zone, people can read what's happening for a month and go, you know what, this looks pretty naff. Why am I going to watch it? At least with it being live TV, you have to watch it because anything can happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's one thing that I give TNA full credit for because they had to move forward. And going on the road, I mean, I know you guys are literally like selling out every single arena that you're going to.
Yeah.
And I know you guys. It goes live tape, but that's still better than being tape in a row.
Right. And we would do a lot of live shows in the Impact Zone, obviously as well. You know.
Yes.
But I think that the difference is that, like, you know, a studio audience in comparison to a live audience is night and day. You know.
Yes. Well, I think there's once an infamous video on YouTube of JB saying, "Guys, you're not wrestling fans. You are part of the production crew," and that was to people in the Impact Zone.
Right.
And as a fan, I'm like, "No, we're wrestling fans, right? Because
Right.
like the fans need to react. They can't be told how to react." And that's one thing that you've wrestled at WrestleMania. You've wrestled on the biggest shows of all time. You know the difference between a hot crowd and people being told how to cheer and boo you.
Right.
But yeah, now I'm gonna put you on the spot, Mickie, because people have literally bombarded me with this question since we announced this interview.
Okay.
Now, after your time is up with TNA, would you like to have one more run in WWE?
Oh, I mean, I can't say no. I mean, obviously, I really can't answer that question, because I'm with TNA. I'm with TNA right now, and this is where my home is, and this is where I'm trying to make magic free at. But the thing is that if this is the wrestling business, and who knows, I'm not going to sit here and say no, because if that was to happen, then I would be a liar. So, you can't really. That's something that you really can't plan for. I mean, you can kind of, think about it, or I don't know. Who knows, man?
It's fine. I just
like
put you on the spot.
Yeah. Put me right on the spot. I knew you couldn't ask me that question.
Sorry.
It's one of those things like obviously, right now, WrestleMania is the biggest stage of them all. And, if those guys have my last match ever or whatever, then that would be an amazing place to have it, But, who's to say? I still think I have a whole lot in front of me still.
Exactly. Now, I've got a few more fan questions. Now, of course you're a singer. Did you ever ask WWE if you could record your own theme song when you were in the company?
I did not, no. Because, you see, the music was something that I started working on while I was in WWE. I really didn't start really working on the music until late 2008, when I started really writing and really thinking about going to Nashville and kind of doing this, and it wasn't originally hey, I want to go make a music career out of this. It was more of, I want to just go lay down these songs that I wrote, because it's something that I've always wanted to do, and it's turned into this whole kind of magical thing. And, WWE was very aware of what I was doing. I told them everything I was doing along the way. So it wasn't like it was a surprise to them or a shock to them by any means. But I never asked them to record my music for sure, because I'd already, my music that I had, I mean, unless I guess I was going to, change characters or do something different or whatever, but the music I had fit who I was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the same time, and on the same token, it's what had already resonated with the fans, and that's what they knew when they heard that boppity kind of thing. They knew I was coming out, and they were going to react. And to get a song, unless you're reintroducing a new character, to get one song over as your new kind of thing, people hear it for the first, month that you're on TV, and they're going, "What is that?" And they're like, it kind of takes away from your reaction, because they're too worried of going, "I don't know how I feel about that song." You know what I mean?
I think the best one was when Jeff Hardy debuted his new song on Raw, and fans were like,
right.
"What the hell?"
Right. And people are, instead of going "Oh my God, it's Jeff Hardy" or whatever, they're listening because they want to hear the song. They're like, "What is that?" They're not for sure. You know what I mean? And not that they still don't react or whatever, but it takes away from that initial holy crap moment kind of deal.
Unless you happen to be
once it resonates, but once it resonates with fans, and they can relate, and they know as soon as they hear that song, then it's back to normal. It's just getting that, getting the song over and getting it resonated in people's heads to where they know okay, that's this person's song kind of deal.
Okay. Another question. Is there one female wrestler that you wish that you could have fought but never did?
Yeah, I would have really liked to work with Karma. I never had a chance to work with Austin. I really wanted to. I would love to work with Sarah Del Rey. I never had a chance to work with her, and she's one person that I, always wanted to work with. As far as people I haven't worked with yet,
Yes.
if there's one person that I could do a storyline with that I have worked, but whatever, it would be Serena Deeb, because I just think that she's incredible. And I remember when I first met Serena, we were in OVW, and she was, I was there underneath Developmental, and she was there just learning how to wrestle. And I saw so much, and it kind of took her underneath my wing a little bit, but I just saw so much of myself in her. And I don't know if it's because she's a Virginia girl, or we just kind of think along the same lines, or we have the same kind of passion about the business. But she's awesome, and she's so amazing, just in the ring, and so fun to work with, and just fluid, and we just have great chemistry, and she's just an awesome person. So I would say that. Fortunately, I've been pretty fortunate to work with some of the best in the world, so it's hard because there's very few people that I haven't worked with that I really would love to,
Yeah. I mean, because literally the other day I was watching your match with Trish, and I think everyone loves Psycho Mickie. I think that might be my favorite character of all time. Psycho Mickie versus Trish at Mania. That was a stiff match, to say the least.
Thank you so much. No, that's awesome. And you get that a lot, and I don't know if Trish gets that a lot, because obviously she's had some, more Mania matches and stuff like that. But I often get that where that's, but we were very fortunate because we had 6 months building to that storyline and to that match. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Between myself and Trish and the writers and Stephanie and everyone who was involved in the making and of that moment, to when it culminated, and it was at that moment at WrestleMania. I mean, there was so many mixed emotions, and when I went out there and I got a mix of cheers and boos, that's not something that anybody was expecting.
Yeah.
I was expecting food out of the building. So, but that kind of shock and whatever, it was just, it kind of lights you on fire even more, because it's not expected and it's not what you were working for, but it's still just as magical, and it made that moment even better than what it already, was building to be. So, and I think that had we not had been trusted with that kind of time, with 6 months worth of storyline to get to that moment, it would have been awesome, but it wouldn't have been at the same level that it was. And so I'm very grateful for the amount of time and the amount of trust put into, myself and obviously Trish, and, as far as the communication of between myself and Trish and the writers and everybody to kind of bring the storyline together to make it what it was.
So going forward, what is next for you in terms of wrestling? I mean, do you fancy one more shot at Velvet Sky's title, or do you want to try and get those belts from ODB and EY and make those belts relevant again?
I want both. I want it all. I want everything.
Want it all?
I would love a rematch with Velvet. I want to wait until Velvet is 100%, because I feel because her knee was hurt, and I knew that obviously being a wrestler, I knew I had to kind of go after the knee and at the same time, but I don't, you don't want to hurt anybody, and she's my friend. And
yes.
So when, I feel like there was a bit of hesitation and a little bit of tiptoeing around, because I did want to use that knee for leverage and use her leg for leverage, but I certainly didn't want to hurt her. And when I thought I did, it was kind of like that, oh crap moment kind of deal. But I know that if she was 100%, then there would be no excuses either way. So, yeah, I would love to face her for the championship again when she's healthy and when she's ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, who would you like to team? And who would you like to team with if you were to go to after EY and ODB and go for the tag titles?
Oh gosh, I think I know I'd mentioned working in a program with Serena Deeb, but I think that we would make a cool tag team. I'm just trying to think of who would actually mesh with who I am and my style, because obviously I thought for the longest time that ODB and I would be a killer tag team, because we're both very unique, but we're kind of the same, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
I mean, she's more whiskey drinking, badass, and I'm, more of a moonshine drinking badass, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. A mason jar sipping badass. I don't know. But no, I thought we would have great chemistry as far as a tag team. Like, and to be honest, you can make those connections, and it's all about working with who you're in there with or who your partner may be to make it, to get it over and to make it, as awesome as possible. So I feel like whoever they threw me in there with, or whoever they decided, like, okay, this is, or we decided, this is who my partner's going to be, or whatever, we could make it magic. We just, if we took the time to develop it and kind of, figure out who we were as a tag team and kind of hone our, strengths and our weaknesses together, so that way one could compensate for the other. You know what I mean? Because that's really, at the end of the day, is what it is.
What we could do is on Twitter, try and ask your fans who they would like to see you team with, because I think we allow them to like use people in TNA or unsigned wrestlers and ask them who Mickie James should team with to go for those belts, because I think we get quite a few answers. Who should Mickie James team with? Hashtag. Let's do that.
Yeah. Hashtag.
I'll do that. I'll do that straight after the interview. Literally, as soon as we've done this, I'll tweet out and ask who you should team with to face for those belts.
Go for it.
So May 7th, somebody's going to pay. Fans can. So I believe can't fans buy it from your website as well as iTunes?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. It's going to be released on iTunes digitally. So, you can download it. People can pre-order it right now. So you can pre-order it so it automatically downloads on the 7th. Physical copies you can buy at, obviously, MickieJames.com. And, you can get them autographed. You can, all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of, like, we also just got a Walmart distribution. So there's going to be in selected Walmarts across the country. Which is pretty amazing, because I didn't think that was going to happen. And if you look at, the thing is that if you look at, like, the CD shelves, yes, anywhere these days, like even in Walmart, there's where it used to be, 6 rows or 7 rows of any and every artist that you can think about. Really, it's only like 1 row right now. You know what I mean? Maybe 2, depending on where you are. So I don't know. So for them to pick me up and actually add me to their shelves is pretty amazing. I'm super excited about that.
I think I need to get myself a copy.
Go ahead.
No, I think I need to order myself a copy and then have you sign it at Slammiversary. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I would love that. We're actually doing a listening party at Slammiversary too on the 1st.
Nice.
Where I'm going to sit and kind of, we'll do meet and greets, and I feel like other superstars are going to be there and stuff, but we're going to take a listen to the album, and the album will be there. And I'm not sure when this is airing today, right?
Yes, correct.
Yes. So, and I'm not sure, I mean, I'm sure I can kind of announce this, but we are doing something special with TNA on shoptna.com, where you can also, they're going to get the album just a few days. They're actually going to get it on Friday.
Okay.
So they're getting the album before it actually releases to the world on the 7th. They're getting it like 5 days early. And there's all kinds of cool packages with my new T-shirt, with the new banner, autographed T-shirt, banner, and album, all on Shop TNA from, they're going to start doing that on the 2nd. And then obviously the album comes out on the 7th. So that's like a little early bird special that, is a big surprise. Big surprise.
So guys should head over to Shop TNA Wrestling to get the new album, T-shirt, basically anything you want Mickie James related.
Absolutely. On the 2nd, we're going to be doing like that Shop TNA special, and we'll be doing that, running that through, I don't know, I guess forever. Like we're just launching that a week before the album comes out, and then, so Friday, And then obviously Tuesday my album comes out, and you can get it on iTunes, and you can get it on my website, and I'll autograph it and everything on my website. Yeah, obviously my website, TNA's website, anywhere that you can find Mickie James, you can find the Mickie James album. Somebody's going to pay. May 7th.
And I'm
get it right now.
I'm
get it
pick one
right
up.
now.
I will. After the review, I'm gonna pick one up, and I'll make sure that I get a physical copy, so then I can bring it to you in about 30 days' time when I'm there in Boston for Slammiversary. Get it signed personally. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, beautiful! I love it. Please do. Bring 5 of them.
Bring 5 of them. Okay, I'll bring one for me, one for my sister. Maverick, the guy that's doing this, can have one. Heck, I might do a giveaway. I might do a giveaway on the website. Some Mickie James.
Cool.
I think that's my idea. I think that's a good idea.
There we go. That's awesome.
Now, before I let you go, can I get a quick liner for the show?
Sure.
Just basically introduce yourself, and you are listening to Running the Ropes on the Unchained Wrestling Network.
Run the ropes.
Running the ropes. Running the ropes.
Running the ropes on the
Unchained Wrestling Network.
Unchained Wrestling Network. Okay.
Okay, whenever.
Hey everyone, this is your favorite knockout and rock star extraordinaire, Mickie James, and you are listening to Running the Ropes on... What is it? Wrestling...
Unchained Wrestling Network.
Unchained Wrestling Network. Oh God.
It could be worse when we had on Kevin Nash. He literally had to write it down 5 times because he kept saying it wrong.
Unchained Wrestling Network. I got it.
Okay.
Hardcore Country.
Hey everyone, this is your favorite knockout and hillbilly rock star extraordinaire, Mickie James, and you are listening to Running the Ropes on the Unchained Wrestling Network.